Hey guys, it's Karen from Confetti and Curves. Welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. This week I thought I would do something a little bit different. Over, I would say, probably the last 8-9 months, I have picked up both a sponge and a foundation brush, and I've always sort of wondered, you know, the difference between the two, and haven't done sort of a series of posts in that there. A couple of bloggers quite recently have asked me, you know, what my preference is, so I thought, well, I shall do a little quick video here on the sort of, you know, the difference in the two, both the brush and the sponge, just to sort of show you guys, because obviously, you know, if someone's out there and they're sort of thinking of buying, should I go for a foundation brush, should I go for a sponge, this might sort of help you determine which one is best for you. So anyways, I'm going to jump right in and get started here. To give you a quick run through both the tools that I'm going to be using today. One is the Real Techniques Stippling brush. I'm going to do this half of my face with this, and the second is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge, and I'm going to do this half of my face with that, and then sort of, you know, you'll be able to see the difference in application and possibly even finish as well too. So yeah, I've already primed my face. I'm just going to go ahead here and get started. The foundation that I am using today is my favourite. It's the number 7 Beautifully Matte. I keep ranting on about this here. I'm sure people think I get commission for talking about this so much. I genuinely don't. I just love it. So I'm going to put just a couple of pumps on my hand there, and I'm going to get my sponge. I'm going to do this half here first. I've got my little mirror and I am ready to go. So what I usually do is with this here, I just dab it into the foundation and just sort of start splodging it on my face. Now the sponge itself is damp, but as you can see, it covers quite a large area pretty quickly. Just have to keep remembering just to sort of stick to half a face. But I love using this bit here. It just sort of really gets into sort of all the corners and little crevices and stuff, and it just sort of blends out the foundation really neatly. Now, I suppose sort of some people will sort of drag their sponges, but I tend to like to sort of bounce it like that there across my skin. I just sort of think it works the foundation in so much better. I just sort of think it gives it more of an airbrushed kind of feel, but it's really quick. It's a really quick application, and I usually use this here for work and just sort of everyday kind of use. You know, if I'm just doing my makeup in a hurry, you know. There we go. Again, I'm just sort of dragging this down just to sort of make sure it blends out nicely down into my neck. Okay, so that is one half of my face done with the Miracle Complexion sponge, and as you can see, that was a pretty quick application. You know, it just does the job very, very quickly. Again, make sure you use a damp. So moving on this, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques Stippling brush. This is one of my favourite brush tools, so it is. So just sort of going in with that, I just sort of dab it into the foundation, just like that. As you can see, that's it there. And again, I just sort of start from the center and sort of pull the brush out. Now with this here, again, obviously, you know, you can, it just depends on how you use it, but I personally don't drag it across because I think it sort of creates big brush strokes, but I sort of more stipple it really on and then sort of very gently brush it out. I should mention, obviously, I'm not a professional MUA. I'm sure they probably use it a lot different from what I am, but this is just how I use it and my personal opinion. just make sure you close your eyes whenever you're doing this here, sort of, you know, around them, because a brush sticking into the eyeball is extremely painful. And again, I sort of just start from the center and just work my way out. It's maybe a tiny bit more sort of time consuming, but it's very comfortable. It's not too bad. And again, I just sort of blend that down. So that's pretty much it. That is one half of the face done with the Stippling brush and the other half done with the Miracle Complexion sponge. Now I don't know if you can see this here, I'll try and sort of get up close, but I tend to sort of find that the Stippling brush leaves a slightly sort of softer, more natural look to the makeup. I think it's better for sort of lightly layering your products, whereas the sponge sort of seems to just sort of, you know, smear out. Again, it's very, very good at blending, gives a really lovely natural sort of, you know, flawless blend and stuff like that. It's super quick, but it just sort of seems that the product is slightly heavier on this side than it is on this here side. I think the sort of, you know, the brush just gives a much softer finish, so this sort of looks more full coverage, whereas the brush sort of looks more medium to natural. So it just really does depend on your preference, what, you know, what just at the end of the day, sort of what you prefer in terms of finish. As for sort of pros and cons for either, personally, for, like I say, for everyday use, I love using the Real Technique sponge or a beauty blender, whatever. A sponge is great for everyday use because it's just so quick. Again, you sort of just sort of dabbed it on, away you go. I think it's just so handy. Though what I will say is that this here is only a few months old, and you know, already you sort of get some crack marks and things like that there, and you know, it does get a wee bit sort of dirty and grubby looking, even though I constantly wash mine, keep it clean and all the rest of it. And you really do have to do that with a sponge because it does harbour more bacteria, just with it sort of being damp and that there whenever you're using it. So that would be the only thing, is that the longevity, you're not going to get the longevity out of it. But like I say, it's quick, blends beautifully, very inexpensive. I think this here is probably around about sort of £6-7 in the stores, but it's nice, it's easy to use and that there, and love it. I really do, I love it. I can't fault this here. As for the brush, what I will say about the brush is that this brush here is probably about 8-9 months old, and I think brushes are just a fantastic investment. A good brush will last you a very, very, very long time. This is a bit more expensive. I think they're sort of around about the £8 mark. Not, you know, not hugely any more expensive, but like I say, it lasts for such a long time. Again, it needs cleaning like the sponge. It does need cleaning. So, you know, really in terms of maintenance in that there, you know, it's like anything, you're going to want to clean it, you know, especially if it's going to give a really soft, natural look, and it's great if you want to build up. So if you have a foundation that, you know, can be built up to full coverage, but you maybe don't want to wear it full coverage all the time, I think this is what the brush is perfect for. Gives a very sort of soft, just a very, very, very soft finish in that there, and yeah. But I definitely think that the brush is a really great long-term investment. I think brushes are fantastic. This is fab every day, but you know, you are going to go through a few of these here a year if you do use it regularly. So that is pretty much the difference between the brush and the sponge. What do you prefer? Do you use a brush? Do you use a sponge? You know, what's What's your thing? I'd love to know in the comments below, and I'd love to know why as well, or you know, what you're for, what you're against, or whatever. Just your opinions, you know, whatever you think, please leave them in the comments below. I love to read and respond in that there. Don't forget to, if you want to, you can head over to my blog, which is www.confettiandcurves.com. Have a wonderful week. Please hit the like button, or the subscribe as well too if you're feeling extra generous. And if you have a channel or a blog, please leave it down below so I can go check it out as well. I'm off now to finish off the rest of my makeup. But like I say, have a fabulous week, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!